Hey guys, welcome back to BluSky TV. It is Tuesday afternoons. You know what that means? Psychology hour. Thank you guys for showing up with me. What is up, Ricky? Happy to see you in here. Welcome, everyone. So every Tuesday at BluSky at 2 p.m. Eastern, we do this. We talk about something trading psychology related that different subjects within that niche every week. So we can kind of try and target all kinds of things that will help us grow and expand and be the best traders that we can be. So I'm very happy to have you here with me today. And I was thinking about my trading journey and some things that we have been talking about in different live streams lately and just conversations around trading. And maybe it's partly my influence of it being summertime in the US anyways. And what I kind of want to cover today is that our attitude and the enjoyment that we take from this and the way that we're approaching life is actually will help you have longevity and strength and stamina to do hard things such as trading. So today I want to talk about actually happiness, which sounds soft and fluffy and like I'm talking to, maybe children, but I am not. And this is for us. I want everyone to come and stay and hang out because this is actually about an approach to life and business and challenging pursuits that will change our outcome and it will create better stamina, better resilience, longer term success, more enjoyment of life through something that is actually really challenging. So that's kind of how I want to approach it. And this subject, I think, will actually be powerful. It will kind of adjust our mindsets and kind of get us locked into the way to approach everything with our trading and the way that we're trying to build momentum and energy and money, right? We want to build an empire, maybe, or at least change some generational curses and build some generational wealth and like make things happen for us. So let's do that and let's enjoy it along the way. How about? So, have you guys heard of the Jim Rohn? He is a wonderful inspiration of mine from a couple of decades ago now. This is one of his quotes. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future, it's something you design for the present. And that's sort of the approach that I want us to think about today with how we are behaving as traders, how we're growing as traders, what kind of energy we want to put into our pursuits so that we can actually enjoy them. And I think that that changes the way the journey is experienced. And I want to kind of lean into that. So, and it's a small crew as we're getting started here. But does anyone want to weigh in on do you actually genuinely feel happy when you're trading? Because I think I've waxed and waned with that, honestly. I think when I'm in my periods of profitability or in the beginning when it was really exciting and I wasn't fully like dedicated to the outcomes, I think I would feel differently about it on different days. Some days I would be anxious and nervous and frustrated. And some days I would be genuinely excited and happy. But it was more of a roller coaster. And I think I want to transition more to this consistently happy vibe now. So that is where I am finding more success and settling into. But it was not always the case. It was kind of, there was stress for a while. I think that there is the element of when you're trading, we're chasing profits, right? We feel good when we win, but not necessarily in the drawdown or in the risk environment, or if we're having a hard day, it can be tricky. Yeah. Okay, Ricky, thank you. I agree that that is a lot to work through in the early months to years because it is roller coaster is the most common by far, but we can shake that. We can adjust and kind of grow and create our best outcomes. I think by chasing joy and happiness and having that not be as a result only of the good days where we just nail a home run and then we get to feel happy. I think coming at the markets and our pursuits with an energy of optimism feels so much better and the losses hurt a little less and we can find joy in all kinds of outcomes, not just the big home run days. So there's actually a paradox with this because most people have the experience of and understand happiness as an outcome to something that happens to them. And I get that. I think that that is a truth, right? I think that society does teach that when you work hard and you succeed and you meet certain metrics, that then you get to celebrate and be happy and proud and excited. But there's actually like a lot of research has gone into this subject. There is decades of psychology research that has understood that there's actually, we can flip that for a more powerful long-term outcome and whole life experience. So you flip that script, right? That happiness isn't the destination, but it's actually part of the engine. It's a part of what propels you through your day. It's a part of the base structure of everything that you're doing. And that actually is really powerful. There's a psychologist, Sean Acker, who said every time you have a success, your brain changes the goalpost of what success looks like. And so happiness gets pushed over the horizon, it gets pushed farther away. So that is sometimes like, this made me happy now. It's that dopamine kind of you chasing the highs and they get a little bit harder to achieve. At once earlier in your trading, a $200 win felt like you nailed it. And now a $200 win feels like you haven't done a lot yet. And so there's a range of like, sometimes we're just pushing happiness farther and farther out where it gets harder and harder to achieve. And I think that is a really common human experience of that's part of the way your neurotransmitters work and dopamine and serotonin and chasing the next big win because the last win is now a new normal, a new baseline. And so we have to kind of work within that threshold for a lot of this. So let's talk about the research for a minute because, I don't like to just talk out something that I feel. I actually want to like make sure I'm bringing subjects that are psychologically studied, have backing of neuroscience, or are at least well understood and have something within them that should make us better traders and better humans or achieve our goals faster. So there is psychology with this. There is a hard science behind the philosophy of putting happiness at our, wind in our sails. So what does that look like with performance, right? So in a number of different studies is where these stats came from, and I just sort of compiled them into the base outcomes that are related to this conversation. So 31% are more productive. Happy professionals outperform their peers by 31%, and that's a study out of Harvard. And basically that one was like people who genuinely just felt happy, content with their lives, happy in their relationships, enjoyed their work, showed up ready to like nail the day and feel good about it and wanted to wake up and get there on time and do their best and enjoyed the outcome and the energy that they put into it. 31% more productive. So their days just created more of whatever they were doing, teaching or engineering or what have you. And so that literally studied that you'll be more productive when you're happy. Also higher sales. So if you're in sales, the positive mindset closed 37% more deals on average, which we've all experienced that, right? If someone is coming at you to sell you something, if they're really excited, they believe in the product, they want to know about you, they're genuine, they're positive in their voice is higher. They aren't trying to just get through you. They aren't trying to just lock a number in for the day and move along. Those people hit different. It makes you want to be a little bit more curious, to kind of believe in what they're selling more so because they seem excited about it. They seem happy. They seem like they genuinely want to have this conversation with you. So maybe there really is something of value for me from this person based on their entire approach. And so in that way, you will have more productive sales if you part of what you do is with sales by having just a positive outlook and emotion. You're more creative by 3 times. So happy brains are more creative and better at complex problem solving. This one is highly applicable to trading because I think that there's a big art to trading, right? There is, of course, a technical analysis, a science, a trading plan, a strategy, entry and exit criteria. Absolutely. You can't be a successful trader without those things. But then after that, I think there comes like an intuition and an art to it. The way that you like to see the market, whether supply and resistance is enough, whether you really lean into trend lines and that matters to you a lot with your instrument, whether it's volume profile, market profile, footprint even. There's a lot of ways to create an edge. I know Mary in here, she's really good with the divergences. And so however you feel that you can be creative with the market, whatever setups speak to you, those hold value. And if you can be 3 times more creative and open-minded and solving complex problems, like that is really actually powerful for moving the needle and making you a more effective trader because you're open to seeing more opportunity, how you can fine tune something, how you can approach everything that you are doing as a trader. So you can understand your setups better and you can fine tune them and be excited about thinking what works, what doesn't, how you want to talk to a mentor about it or your trading partner, what have you. And that will propel your needle farther as a trader. The longer lifespan is a beautiful outcome as well. So 23% longer life for higher happiness levels. So that's out of University of Illinois. Basically, you tend to live longer if you are not really grumpy about everything and calling more negativity to you, but more so just positive, optimistic, like this is okay, this setback is going to be all right, like I believe in myself, like I'm going to enjoy this nice walk in the evening with my family, even though I had a really hard day at work or at trading. I'm going to shift and I'm going to choose to enjoy XYZ. That creates a healthier body, a healthier outlook, literally a longer life. So if we're trading better and we're living longer, that equals more dreams achieved, like more trips we get to take, more legacy that we get to leave, more memories that we get to make. And so this all compiled actually means that what you are learning now will create a bigger, better, more robust and beautiful future as a trader. So let's kind of break it down and expand upon it a little bit because we have the hour to hang out, and I appreciate you guys, and I got some good information together for us. So happiness isn't just a performance edge necessarily. It's the life advantage, right? It's a holistic view of all of it. So the research out of Harvard's 80-year study of adult development, which is actually the longest happiness study ever conducted. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of this before, but it's been cited in a couple of different books that I have read. And I love it because they really have studied humans from childhood all the way through to older adulthood and into the ends of their lives. And even they talked to the spouses of those people, the children of the people in these studies, and they really followed these humans through literally an 80-year study of the same people. Excuse me. And so that study found that there was a close relationships and positive emotional states were the single greatest predictor of health, longevity, and life satisfaction, more than wealth, fame, or IQ. And so they studied these people not trying to figure out if happiness was the key, but to figure out what the key was. Which ones of them made it to the longest, fullest life? And what did they embody? Were they the smartest? Were they the wealthiest? Were they the ones with the biggest public accolades? Were they the physically most fit? Were they the most sedentary? Like, were they the happiest, healthiest relationships? They studied all of these factors, multiple factors, I can't remember how many, about these specific people, and then they followed their lives. And the single greatest predictor was the close relationships and positive emotional state. So being happy and pouring into literal human connection. And I think that that's really a powerful thing to think about because you have like these benefits on the side here, stronger immune health, lower cortisol and stress hormones from that approach, better cardiovascular health because you can bring your heart rate down and settle down your nervous system. So it can be a little bit more stable over long term, higher resilience after setbacks. So like I said, you have a hard trading morning. If you have the mindset where I'm good, I'm still fine, my life is so beautiful and strong, like I get to enjoy this afternoon activity despite my frustrating morning, that creates a different experience for life. And then, like I said, the outcome of a longer, more satisfying lifespan, because all of those things create the healthiest human in a lot of ways, because your nervous system can settle down and reboot so easily. What's up, Mary? I'm glad you came in here. We're talking about people are kind of trickling in, so I'll kind of loop back a little bit here and there. But we're talking about how your approach to life in terms of specific happiness and a positive emotional state and choosing to revert back to an experience of abundance creates a longer life and more successful actual trading outcomes because it's a whole life approach. So this quote at the bottom from one of the doctors, the psychologist at Harvard said, the good life is built with good relationships and a mind that chooses to see abundance. And so again, there is many studies like on other things that I go to find a study for on a topic that I have. Sometimes I have to like look around and I'll find like one or two or three, but there was so many about a positive mindset and actual happiness in terms of what that can create for you, what kind of a different life that brings for you. And it absolutely, in all of them, found in statistically important numbers, a longer lifespan and a more productive and enjoyable life experience from the traders that had that mindset that was focused on positivity and doing the right thing and enjoying life. It's a big deal. So let's tie this into trading more specifically, because the long lifespan is of course a beautiful thing. And if we're more successful traders, I mean, I'm all about like the trips, right? Like I want to get my kids through school, through college, kind of situated into their adulthood. And then I have a lot of travel plans. And so for me, like this long lifespan is kind of a big deal. And so right now I want to make the choices that will get me to that lifespan, but also teach my children the things that will give them the best like stance to move forward through. So this has got multifactorial reasons why I really enjoy this conversation and find a lot of value in it. So do you guys, we're getting a few more people in here. Do you guys have an experience about what a bad day feels like in your body? Because I want to talk about working through that, because like if you are losing, if you hit your max daily loss, if you really thought you nailed a trade and you were in profit and then all of a sudden it whipped the other way, maybe a tweet came out or it just, you didn't anticipate that resistance or what have you. What does that feel like in your body? Like, do you get a tight chest? Does your brain clog over like you're in foggy world, tunnel vision? Yeah, Nick knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's not pleasant. Like your body literally is like like a black cloud falls upon you. That is a very normal experience. And I would wager that a lot of us have had that experience. And so what happens in that moment is that you are feeling really bad. And that's because an outcome happened that is not ideal. That's not what you were striving for. Obviously, when we go in and we trade the market, we're aiming for that nice, beautiful win that builds our accounts. So when we don't get that and we feel kind of, punched in the face by the market, those feelings set in. And so negative emotions will narrow your focus. Fear and frustration triggers the brain's threat response, right? That fight or flight, where you're like, what just happened? Like, how do I fix this? This trade was winning. Like, what's going on? You automatically like amp up. And that shrinks your field of vision. And so you start to like really zero in on like what is going on in this 1 or 2 minute chart. Like, why isn't it working? How can I fix this? You tune out larger time frames, you tune out other people, you tune out your accountability partner, your hunger, or whatever. So you can really get into like overthinking and maybe mismanaging it and leading into the emotional slide. And that can lead to worse trade decisions after that too. So that is like when that negativity starts to like spiral and you start to get really defensive and you fall into that fight or flight nervous system response. It's not good. Now, if we can instead start to reshape that into like a positive emotions, then you can, I love this Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, broaden and build theory is her theory around this, about how if you can focus on like positivity and believing in an abundance around something, such as your trading strategy and your goals and what you've learned and what you're building, then your emotions expand your flexibility and your ability to learn more, take in more information, refine better, believe in the outcomes, get back in the game for one more trade when you see your setup. And so that helps you see your setup more clearly, see your patterns more rapidly, think more clearly, and then execute with less hesitation. And so that broaden and build is basically like open to receive, right? That's part of the abundance of like, if this trade didn't win, I need to take a step back. I need to take a deep breath. I need to think about what's going on next. How can I repair my outcome, but also not trade emotionally, not feed into the like, scarcity, fear, lack. Like, I need to make my next trade win right now. I need to fix this P&L right now. That way that I am okay and that I will be okay. But instead, if it's like, okay, what happened? What came in? What did I miss? What didn't I miss? And this is just the probability game that we're in. And how can I move forward with the best approach? And so that sort of openness is what having a little bit more of a positive skew on your approach will get you. Now, that's not something that we can immediately shift. This is a big life transition. If you are early in trading and you're still feeling the losses and the strain heavier, then this is a shift that has to actually take some time and intention. But the compound effect is where happy traders recover from losses faster, revenge trade less, and stay disciplined longer. And so that is basically how, if you can start to make those shifts in your mentality, these outcomes change over time. And so that in that way, your mood and your attitude and your approach psychologically is actually a variable in your trading outcomes. And so if we can treat it like that, it has power. Like, if we can literally say, like Coach Becky cited like 8 studies on this one Tuesday about how getting your mind and attitude and mood right allows you to recover faster, revenge trade less, build your accounts more steadily over time, settle out your equity curve so that you can build faster, then there must be something to it, because there really, truly, I promise you guys, is something psychologically in your brain, in your body, in your life experience to this, where if we can really lock into that positive happiness, abundance energy, then our accounts get to compound more steadily over time. So trading is not always grand slams. I know some of us have had that experience where we've had losses or you're in a little bit of a drawdown. And I want you to think about what can help us sustain through those. Because I think there's a lot of variability in our audience, and a lot of early traders, more mature traders, and then everywhere in the middle. And so what gets us to that more mature trading zone where we have the experience and expertise that helps us really build? Well, I think that like passion is a big part of it, because, and Mike and I were talking about this when we were streaming live yesterday, that it really helps propel you, a curiosity, a healthy energy, being able to let losses go and crave more information so that you can improve instead of holding on to it and being afraid you're never going to make it. And so work through that, because there is periods where it's really hard and you're going to take those punches to the face and not really understand exactly what and how best to recover. So that will take, months to years to build up a discipline and experience level, a stronger strategy, and a stronger ability to adhere to that strategy, which is the discipline, right? A loss tolerance. So recognizing that those hits are part of the risk of trading and that you have to just kind of be able to let them go. And then also pursue that constant self-improvement. And so like, what did I miss? How can my strategy be improved? Like what could I have done in the moment to not revenge trade? Could I have practiced that breathing or taking a quick walk to reset myself? All of those things are something you have to change your habits around to let them grow over time. I do think that passion is what makes it sustainable. So that is the energy of like, I can take this because I've experienced the good days and I believe in myself and I like this journey enough. I'm able to tolerate the experience of putting on risk and persevering through it. Mark Minervini is one of my favorite authors. He has wrote some really good books, including the Mindset Secrets for Winning, which is really good. But this is a quote from him: of the most successful traders I know love the game, not just the money. The money follows the love. And so he has won like national prizes for stock trading, P&L, and he has written about this, and he has got really an impressive track record as a trader. And I love that he has said that quote because he has been around the trading scene for decades. He is a longtime trader with a lot of experience. And he is telling us that the traders that really make it and have the biggest success are happy and they enjoy it and they love the game and they recognize that losses are part of the game. And so they're really kind of just there for it. Welcome, Trader Cat. Happy to see you in here. So, when you are connected to the why you trade, the difficult days don't break you, they refine you. And so that is the kind of an undertone of a lot of the different angles that we come at psychology from, because there has to be a resilience and a sustainability to trading. Yeah, me too. It's something that you have to build over time. It does get better. So if you recognize that emotional control and management and directing your thoughts for your highest good is something that you want to get better at, then you're doing the right thing. Like your experience is appropriate and reasonable and what all of us have gone through. But knowing that it's an area that you can improve, this is why we want to like have these conversations and show up to these labs and like think about how we can shift that and so that we can enjoy it more so, and knowing that on the hard days we have to just breathe through it, let them be, let our lockouts, let our stop losses keep us safe, take those little breaks in between so that we can have the reset, and then allow it to refine over time and say, you know, this day I did XYZ and I'm proud of these things and I wish that I had done this a little differently. And so journaling that out and then remembering this week I'm going to try to always walk away after a loss or size down after a loss, recognizing I don't make it back in one day. Allowing the things to refine you in that way that you're processing the ways that you wish you could have done something maybe a little bit better and letting it matter, letting it change the way that you're approaching it week over week. That's how you get the 1% better in these psychological hurdles that we're going through as traders. And so I do want you guys to all who are here to think about what made you fall in love with trading. And if we can reconnect with that, because that is so powerful for trading, because it really reminds us of who we are on the charts and what we want to build and bring and create and why we want to do it. And for me, I think like it could be a game changer, you know, like I am a mom and I am a woman who still like I have so many more places that I want to go and so many more things that I want to do. And when I learned about trading, I realized that there's a real edge here. Like there is ability to be in our home office and study and figure out where you can buy and sell, and then you get paid for that. Like there's so much power in that opportunity. Now with power comes risk, right? And so it's a balance. It's a challenging thing to learn. You have to learn how to do it to the best of your ability so that you can make money and not lose money. But it's incredible, right? It's incredible the opportunity that it gifts to us so that we can do whatever. If trading is your thing, if cars are your thing, if boats are your thing, if college fees in the near future is the priority, it offers whatever we need if we really can lock in. So that makes me kind of love the opportunity of trading as well. I mean, that just the opportunity. So if we can reconnect with our whys, with your whys, with what you see is the beauty in trading and remembering that kind of regularly, it helps with this psychological shift to that abundance and that experience of like, we are okay. So specifically with the mindset, it is the shift from scarcity to abundance. That is the big difference maker here in how we are experiencing our trading, what our journey looks and feels like for all of us. Love to trade, love the new challenge of a new day. Yeah, I love the challenge as well. It's pretty cool that like what is it going to deliver today? Who's going to be in charge? What opportunities will it see, and how will I be able to capitalize on them? It's pretty, honestly, it's exciting, like that we have that sort of control and ability to learn and get on those levels. So negativity in trading usually comes from a scarcity thinking. You guys probably, if you've been here with me at all, or just in some of the circles where we talk about trading psychology, scarcity is dangerous in trading because you're thinking constantly about the downside. I can't afford to lose this. I'll never get this right. The market is against me. It's out to get me. It's stop hunting. That is really common. That narrative of this is really hard and I can't get this and I keep losing it. And why I blew another account. Like, come on. The market is always just taking my stop. It's highly manipulated. The truth is the market is an auction place for buying and selling, and there is an air of like people trying to have an edge in that and working their system at certain pivot points. But it's full of opportunity, and the more we can kind of dig in and understand it, it doesn't have to be like an opposition. uh, Freedom of knowing I can make as much as I want when I want, trade and not have to do a 9 to 5, the challenge in learning. I love that, Trader Cat. That speaks to a lot of us. I think what you said about being able to have that freedom of our life and to have an unlimited ceiling in terms of what we can make, which is why we're here. So the scarcity mindset, I miss that move. I always do this. I'm not good enough. I can't get this right. Like, of course, my mother was right, and this was the stupidest thing I've ever done. Like, that's not the vibe. Abundance mindset is another setup is coming. That gave me data. I'm learning with every trade. With every trading session, I am learning, and that experience is making me stronger. I am building something real. I am building that financial freedom. I am learning right now so that next year I don't have a 9 to 5 and I can pay for my life in abundance with what I am building now. And right now, the smaller profits I'm experiencing and the smaller downside is literally a fraction of the potential of this because leverage is there. Like you were at the prop firm, like there is a lot of ways to get leverage as a trader and a lot of ways to make it grow and compound for us. And so the potential is there. And so if we can think about always like if our numbers are small now and they aren't quite meeting the dreams to pay for, a summer in Europe or whatever, recognize that potential to leverage it up, the more concrete you get your system, that is abundance. Like that is beautiful. That is a way to say, I want my losses to be small because I want to learn how to take the losses small. That way, when I'm trading higher size, it's still within reason what loss might look like. And so like all of this is like recognizing this is kind of amazing. Like a hard day doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just a piece of the puzzle. And that there's so many more trade opportunities. Every single session, there's a couple good opportunities to get some piece of the market. And so that is the opportunity there. So if we can shift to seeing that more often, that's really powerful. Now, my concern with some people is like talking about happiness and a positive, abundant mindset is like, well, is this toxic positivity? Like, obviously, the market is hard and there's days are going to suck, right? But I would argue that it's not toxic, that it's just positivity, and that is a good thing because literally of all the studies we quoted earlier today about the actual power for our minds and our lifespans when we shift like this. And so that strategic cognitive reframing, that's actually a tool of the most successful humans that we know. Elite athletes, military leaders, top performers worldwide literally have trained their mind, like paid so much money to coaches in order to shift their mindset so that they see the positive outcomes, the goals of what they're working towards. Their focus on eye on the prize, like these little setbacks are not a big deal. We're going in the right direction. That is a sought after coaching niche that is $1 million business because people who really want the outsized successes know and recognize the science behind this, that this is a requirement of getting out of that negative headspace and believing in the abundance, because that is what allows you to have some sort of contentedness with the stop out and to recognize that if I just take a breath and my accounts can sustain through this day that is irritating me, then there's going to be, maybe a great session this afternoon or this evening or just tomorrow, and I can enjoy the rest of my day. That reframe really creates different outcomes. So how do we do it? Welcome, Ace. And I do because some of us are still, myself included, right? The hard days feel some kind of way and they make us get a little revengey at times and a little bit crabby. And maybe we want to like reset the accounts faster or throw more leverage at a thing. And that is a moment to like think about what Coach Becky said because there's more opportunities coming and you don't have to fix it in one day. And having that reframe of like, not having to fix them one day is like one of the most powerful things that you can hear from a psychology coach. Because if you can make that shift in your mind, then you don't tilt. Then you don't say, I need to leverage higher right now because I'm really irritated. And then um, when Ace is cracking me up, when you are trying to actually really get that compounding effect where your accounts can have little dips, but overall you get the home runs that really make it move, you need to be able to say, like, this little blip is not a big deal, instead of letting it pull you under, where you can make a small loss 5x that for that day, and that will actually have like a big deal outcome for your account potentially. What's up, guys? So, what's some techniques so we can do that? So, because you want to be able to switch yourself in real time, and everyone is at varying levels of success with this. And the earlier you are in trading, the more you want to have specific techniques to help make this transition, because it's not easy early on. So, box breathing is one that I mentioned before because that is widely understood to literally physiologically calm your body. And so, that is the 4 count breath that activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the chill, like letting it happen, I believe, in abundance nervous system, versus sympathetic, which is fight or flight, when you're like literally trying to punch back at the market when you take a stop out. And so you can do a little session of this. Tina, Ace, you guys are better late than never. I'm just saying, I'm not actually going to get out the ruler because this is camera, but I'm happy to see you guys. So this is the box breathing, right? In, hold for 4, and breathe out for 4, and then hold empty for 4. So that actually literally can drop your heart rate by 10 to 20 points per minute, depending on how accelerated you are. But in that moment, it can pull you out of a tunnel vision, even just a couple rounds of it, which is like 30 seconds. And it can really like back you back down. Thank you, Tina. It actually is a power. Like literally, Navy SEALs teach it and require it as like to be demonstrated so that they can be effective in the field by staying calm and pulling that sympathetic nervous system down. And over trading, revenge trading, getting frustrated, getting sweaty palmed in trading is your sympathetic nervous system, where you're getting into, I feel threatened by this loss and I want to fix it now. I want to engage and I want this to be better. But if you can back it back down to that parasympathetic with that breathing technique, it can pull you back to where you want your mindset to be. If you know you need to have your mindset on positivity and the right sort of energy for making your best outcomes, then you need to do these things because they can help you shift that in real time. And then a little gratitude drop. And so this is something that you can do now. You can do it in journaling in the morning or at bedtime. Just basically you write down a couple things that you're grateful for. And so by specifically making yourself think, I'm really grateful for my health. Last year I got sick or this happened, and right now I feel good. I feel strong. I'm thankful gas prices are coming down. I'm thankful for these sunny afternoons and I get to get sun on my face outside. I'm grateful for this healthy meal that we get to have. Like having little, paying attention to, writing them down, or at least thinking them, will remind you of the abundance that you have, and it will start to shift your mindset to seeing the positive things all around you, to recognizing what's good, and knowing that by being quicker at recognizing the good things, then the bad things don't carry as much weight. Because if you had a hard trading morning, but you're so used to being like, I love it when my kid does XYZ, or it's so healthy when so and so brings us home at the end of the day, or what have you, being faster at recognizing things to be grateful for will by default help pull you out of a negative headspace faster. And so just trying to put this into a routine of, if you journal your stats, or if you just journal in general, if you don't journal every day, just try to specifically put in there a couple lines about what you're grateful for. If you pray, pray for things that you're grateful for and sort of a thank you energy, because that does the same thing. Basically, it's just you're putting your mind on what feels good, and then it just flows faster to you more of the time. And that is a shift that is not natural. Some people didn't grow from homes that are positive and uplifting and seeing the positive side. I didn't. And so that was something that I came from more of a scarcity backdrop. And so this reframe is honestly why I'm here at BluSky talking about psychology with you guys, because I had to do this work. I had to figure out how to stop seeing scarcity and fear and fight or flight, because like fight or flight works for me, like I am an ER nurse. Like I feel tough and able to hold myself together and whatever. And so actually having to back that off a little bit and like recognizing that a little hit is not something to engage with and that everything's going to be fine. And so that's why like this focus on gratitude has changed me over time, because it's like there's things to be grateful for, even if it's not a perfect day. And that again just starts to reframe your mindset into believing in the abundance and what you're building, and that you do have the potential to achieve those goals that we talked about, our whys behind our trading. To get to those, this reframe will happen more fluidly if we truly believe that each day is building us. Now with the box breathing, that's a quick, fast, easy. You don't even have to leave your seat. You can spend 30 seconds doing a couple of rounds of it. And that is an immediate kind of down a notch or two from your energy if you are anxious. A movement break is the next level from that, where you leave your chair. You get out, you do 5 or 10 minutes of movement, you walk your dog, as Justin has mentioned. You get out of your seat, maybe you just refill your coffee, you go out in the backyard for a minute or whatever it is. That will reset your dopamine and serotonin, because like, think about if you're gambling and you're at a table and you're putting risk on it. But if you get up and you walk around, it's like, oh, there's a world out here. Like I can get out of this mode. I can reset. I can think about, oh, actually, I'm really hungry and I need to go to the bathroom and I'm supposed to call someone and I'm excited about these dinner plans. You can do something else, or you can at least pull yourself out of that constantly chasing the next hit type of energy, which is an experience in trading, right? It's constantly like, if you are a day trader, you could be hunting every candle pattern and seeing, what is going on, what is working, what isn't working, if you need to get in again, if it's finally doing what you wanted to do earlier and you lost. Having a little bit of a break can back you off from that. And so then that helps you to not trade when you're frustrated, if you've had that movement break to kind of break it up a little bit. And then I like the idea of an anchor statement, which was in a previous lesson as well, but it's a statement that reminds you of your why. And that can be anything for anyone, but basically like, why do you show up? What are you trying to build? And so like, I want to be the most professional trader because I want to be able to travel for the last 30 years of my life freely. If you come to trading and you read that statement that's on your monitor and then you sit down, it's like, I'm not going to F around today. Like I'm going to lock in and do my best process because I got things to do. I got goals to achieve. Like I want to like start banking this money. I want to build up those college funds as full as they need to be. And then I want to build up the travel fund, and then I want to be able to have a massage next Friday. Whatever it is, if you come into that with like, I'm going to do some cool stuff. Like I'm going to trade like a professional today because I have a strong why. And so when I approach my trading day, I'm going to approach it as if I take it that seriously, that the why behind it is propelling me into my choices today. So those are good techniques for you guys to think about what you do, what you don't do, what you want to do a little bit more of here and there to really kind of change your outcomes. So daily happiness practice, what the heck is she even talking about, right? Isn't that what we just talked about? Well, it's basically just a routine that works for you. Everyone is going to be different. Everyone has a different home environment, whether they live with family or with kids or without kids or with your parents or with a best friend, roommate, whatever. Having a structure around like your approach will help you have an intentional like approach to everything that will make you stronger. So elite performers, what do they do differently? Well, having a structure around doing all the things that bring you your best metrics will help you achieve your best metrics. So across sports industry, creative business, it shows that emotional preparation is a game changer. That was that study about 31% more productive in business. A lot of that is mindset. Like I'm coming into the day, I'm waking up, I'm enjoying my coffee, and I know I'm going to hit this day hard. And this to-do list has 10 things on it. I'm going to nail at least 7 or 8 of them because I'm ready. Like I'm organized. I'm excited about this work. When I knock out this, I'm going to feel really good. And then I can start this other thing. Like that is the approach that I want you guys to think about, because like LeBron James, did you guys know that statistically, like or family, he reports that he journals every day before games? Like that, it doesn't seem so soft when we're talking about LeBron James doing it, right? Like that, it's different. Ray Dalio is a longtime trader and has built his company. He meditates a couple of times a day. Not all of them, but most of my very closest trading friends, Waji's traveling now. She's not here. She's usually here. Really prioritize meditation because it brings your body down and your mindset down into that calm, focused energy. And you can get back to that quicker when you need to in the moment. So a lot of very successful traders will lean into the active role of meditation. And that is for emotional management. it helps you understand what it feels like to be calm and centered and be able to get back to that quicker because you've practiced it when the pressure is not on. Top traders debrief with emotional awareness, not just P&L. So the big prop funding companies like S&B Capital, one thing I watched from them a couple of years ago was about how when they reviewed their trades, they would also talk about what they experienced as traders, as humans. Was there frustration? Was there fight or flight? Did they really oversize? And what was behind that? Like, are you getting rest? Did you do your preparation? Do you have a plan? Like, what did you do that led to that? That wasn't just a P&L situation. Forget sometimes we're competing in the hardest industry in the world. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like this is, why LeBron James and these big traders are like, I want to kill it. And there's a lot of competition. And what I am doing is challenging. Like it is really challenging, especially when you're trying to leverage higher. And there is so much money and energy and market movers behind what we're doing. And you have to take hits, like financial hits, in order to be in this game. You could consider that pressure to be pretty substantial. And knowing that you're entering into a high pressure, high opportunity environment, this is the work that I'm talking about, where we do manage our emotions and we do some things on the back end that allow us to stay more calm, whether it's meditating, whether it's journaling, whether it's focusing on your why statement every morning before you open your charts. It puts you in that headspace of like, I'm a professional. I'm going to stay calm and focused, and I'm going to put leverage on that I understand and that fits with my account size, because I believe in doing my best. And so mindset management is key to that underlying so that you can honor your trade system to the best of your ability. James Clear, I also have quoted a lot of times. He wrote Atomic Habits. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So if you have a system in place where you're doing some things on the back end to keep your parasympathetic system strong so that you can pull out of that fight or flight faster, that will set you up to be able to have that mindset shift of like, I'm okay. Whatever happens, I'm okay. I'm good. I am building. I have those home run days. And on days that I don't see as clearly, I'm okay. And so if I'm either okay or good, that's a positive equity curve. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in emotional terms, that is winning over time. Because if your losses feel okay and your wins are really nice because you really nailed it on that day, you were very prepared, you were very calm, you saw your setup and you hit it without hesitation, and then you wrote it per your system to the higher targets, that's a really good outcome. And so by recognizing that if you can either be good or okay, that you win, by just trying to trim out the big bad days, that's how we win. And that's how you can leverage up and understand and appreciate the risk being a part of the game. So are we judging Becky for this topic to talk about happiness today, basically as an underlying element to success? I don't want to hear from, is there any skeptics? Do you think that it's all strategy and technical and I am just talking out my rear end because I need to fill an hour of time? Anybody? Because you could say that. But I do think that this is where a lot of work lies to be the game changer, because there's a lot of effective strategies and you can literally get it from a mentor and write it down and do what they say. And you should get the outcomes, right? That statistically that trading setup provides. But then why aren't we all? This Benjamin Graham quote is good. The investor's chief problem and even his worst enemy is likely to be himself. And so that's where you want to take accountability of like, if there is really good systems out there and I have a strong trading strategy, what does it look like to really have that consistently growing compounding account situation? The changer is you. The game changer is you. How do you approach your market? How do you calm down after a loss? How do you not engage in revenge trading? And how do you keep your leverage reasonable so your accounts can keep growing? So resistance to this work can be data. If you don't want to do it or show up for it and you're not think that that's where you're at, I think that there is a resistance with that where you want to maybe just look at that and think about maybe you really are rock solid and so you don't need these extra conversations. But I would argue that a lot of us, there is room to improve in this because self-sabotage is a very real part of the trading experience that humans do, right? People will do it in relationships. They'll do it in business pursuits. They'll do it as traders. It's easier than we think to do, to like start getting some success and then pull back or let something happen that puts you back into your normal range where you're used to like the roller coasters of P&Ls and not actually making it through to the 6-figure a year income that a lot of us early traders are hunting. If we can just cut out the self-sabotage and put things in place in order to manage that back end work, then it really changes things. So the toughest traders in the world aren't emotionalists; they're emotionally skilled. And I recently spoke to a trading coach a couple weeks ago, and what she said was like, she was I think 13 or 14 years a trader. She said, I still feel emotions. When I lose, I feel emotions. I'm frustrated and I'm kind of down about it. But what is different now and why I've been able to build like I have is that I don't take it out on the charts. I don't allow my accounts the outcome of the way I'm feeling. I know now that that's the danger point for me. And that's how I caused a lot of problems early in my trading career. So if I'm feeling frustrated, irritated, this outcome, I just got to walk away. Like I know that I trade my best when I'm focused and I'm clear and I'm open and I'm ready to receive like an abundant opportunity. And if I'm frustrated and irritated, the chances that I'll cause more damage is higher than the chances that I will fix it by revenge trading. And so she got to the point in her career where she could recognize that and intervene and not continue engaging with the market in those moments. And that shift for her is what propelled her into success and why she created her coaching business that she did, because it was like unlocking a master secret for her of like, I need to instead take responsibility for my emotions and not engage with them on the charts. So, if this feels weird or hard, or you're not really sure what to literally take away as action items from this, here's a couple of ideas of micro shifts that we could do to start this transition. Because, like I said, you don't just switch your mind from scarcity to abundance of choosing to see happiness and like great days all the time, because you're going to take losses as a trader, or else you're not a trader. So, things that we can do are notice the narrative. So, catch yourself mid negative thought and label it. This is a scarcity thought. I don't have to think this way. I'm actually okay. So in a loss, like what the F? Like, why did it do that? Of course it stopped hunting me. It didn't stop hunting me. It's just an outcome. Why don't I take a minute? Maybe it's doing something I didn't anticipate. Why don't I just take a quick walk and see what I can see in a minute? So that's catching yourself mid negative thought and reframing it, taking a moment, taking a deep breath, like we talked about, so that you can catch it sooner. And that's kind of an awareness on like, what is my mind? What track is it starting to divert onto? And let's just pull it back to where we want to be. So that's an awareness on your narrative that's going on behind the scenes. And then choose a tool, something that we talked about today. So the breathing or the journaling, or just saying out loud or reading your why statement before you open your charts. I feel like that's very powerful. And sometimes people will do it in their mirror. So in the bathroom where you get ready for your morning, your trading session, have it on your mirror and literally look at yourself and read it and like connect with yourself of like, I'm building some cool things for my life by being a professional, reasonable trader and honoring my rules. So like go handle it. Like a little pep talk. Like like put your head in the game kind of thing. Like think about you are a performance athlete about to go like do your Olympic run. What are you going to do? Like how are you going to handle it? Like what energy are you bringing to it? Is it fear and doubt and like the ability to know that you're going to fight until your paint green? Or is it more like, I got this. My training built me here. I know I can get these outcomes because I wouldn't be in this space with this opportunity if I haven't put in the work. And I know how to manage my risk so that no matter what, I'm okay. So let's see if we can find a way to take some money out of this market. So that is something to like, a way that you can add something to your trading session beforehand to lock in and find your people. I think that happiness and a positive mindset is contagious. And I think that we have that, I'm just saying, at BluSky. I think that all of our traders are positive, and occasionally we take a hit on stream even, or like Mike in the morning, he's so fun. He's like, this is the friggin' best thing in the world. Like you hear him in the morning, it's amazing. He's like, this is great. Like we got the stick entry, like we're above stupid, he says, where he like got the smartest entry because he had a good read and then he held. And so he's like, this is good, or this is great. Like we're good. Like that's such a good, like, oh gosh, he's leading with the attitude, with the trading skills, with the approach, with the abundance energy. Like that is what you want to find, the people that have that around you, where it's like, we can see cool trades. We can support each other. Like you're having a hard day, like DM me about it, or let's chat about it. That way we can all get back in the game and feel good about what we're building. And that kind of matters. It helps grow everything. And it helps reshape your experiences when you're around the energy. We take on the energy of the people we're around. So if you're constantly around like negative gossipers, like fear mongering, like talking smack about people, that makes you see more negative. It makes you see things in people to, criticize. It makes you see risk as scary versus part of the game to build something amazing, which you can teach yourself. And if you're around traders, like we can teach you too, that we take on this risk so that we can build amazing stuff, so that we can learn and really capitalize with this market, even though it's challenging. The challenge is what makes it pretty freaking special. Let's keep at it. Let's learn together. Let's see what we can see together. So that community is really helpful. And then this is one that someone else advised too, of tracking it. So a mood score every day. So like if I'm coming in, if I'm just got in a fight with my spouse last night and I didn't hardly sleep, or my kids are already like raising Cain in the hallway, maybe I don't give myself a super high score on calm, present, and ready for the day. So if that speaks to you, some people like scores. This is a tool that you can give yourself a grade each morning. And if you're below like a 6, maybe you don't trade market open and you instead go for a quick walk and try and get yourself in a better headspace, versus if you're like an 8, like let's go, you know? So that's one tool also you can use. Thanks, Justin. So to kind of bring it together, your trading life can feel good. And even if you are not having the grand slams every day that ideally we're working towards, you still get to enjoy the journey. And I think that that's really powerful for the reframing. And it's not just necessarily like talk myself into happiness, even though I suck at trading. That's not it necessarily. It's more like choosing to find happiness and abundance and faith in what you're doing every day on purpose, not just hoping that it just comes to you. Ah, thanks, Trader Cat. Not because it's easy, right? But because the data, literally, we started the session with the neuroscientific psychological studies that show that there is science that backs up with choosing to see the positivity, the things to be grateful for, the fact that we are risking and learning in order to grow to these higher levels. That is what is building and changing for us. Um, wow, nice. I love that you're sharing that with your family, because this is for everyone, not just traders, but I'm framing it in a way because I want us to win. So I'm framing it for traders, but the science behind this speaks to a lot of different genres, business entrepreneurs, especially as well. So Dalai Lama, like, of course, anytime I can quote, I will. Happiness is not something ready made. It comes from your own actions. And so I truly believe that that is the right energy of I want to take this day on because I want to kill it as a trader in the long term. So I'm going to take the experience of this session, whatever it is, and I'm going to grow and evolve and hopefully make some money on this day. But if I don't make money on this day, I will manage my risk and I will learn to be a disciplined follower of my strategy. And so the day will either be okay or it'll be good. And then that's how we grow, right? And so choosing to be excited about it, even if you are not to the numbers that ideally we're all hunting for, right? If we were to say what our truest goals are, many of us are not there yet. I'm not there yet. But by staying in these days, it's beautiful opportunities to trade with a good group of people, to have conversations that make me better, to learn something from every trade, whether I just killed it or I could have done better in XYZ. It's getting me to those goals and that why. So it's a performance tool, not a reward for a good day. You don't just get to feel good only if you have a green P&L. You get to feel good and proud of what you're doing along the journey too, and that actually will help you get to your outcomes faster, scientifically. So it uses it as a performance tool of like believing in this journey, because your journey gets better faster and you get to enjoy it along the way. Your family will find you more enjoyable. Your wife might actually be really happy that you had this conversation, because even on your losing days, you can have really meaningful moments with your person that are positive, even if you're kind of pissed about your morning trade outcome. Knowing that you can have a day that has not perfect, but you're closing it out with some gratitude and some belief in everything that you have creating and growing still, it's so much more enjoyable. And that, I mean, we only have right now, like no one knows about the afterlife, even if they say they do. We do know we have these days. And so when we have these people around us, we have this opportunity. I love how Breezy ends his sessions with, if you have someone you love, tell them you love them and enjoy that part of life too. So it's not all about the P&L. It's about doing our best at the charts and then reframing how we're experiencing this, because literally it would make you more money. Well, thank you guys for showing up with me today. I know. Maybe there were some skeptics in here who side-eyed me a little bit with the topic of happiness and the mindset that we are is the backbone to our trading. But I believe in it. Thanks, Gabber. I think it's good. I think it's a really good conversation to have. And I am so grateful to be able to be the person in this role where I just get to talk about psychology once a week. And so thank you to BluSky for having me. And thank you guys all for showing up for BluSky TV for this. It's every Tuesday at 2 p.m. live. And then by the end of the day, for me, it's like, 8 hours from now. Within that time frame, I'll get the recording posted for everyone on YouTube. And so we can all play it back. Or if you missed the beginning or you want to share it with a friend, please do. But thanks, Nacho. Thanks, Reader Cat. Two every day. Or two every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday is a psychology conversation specifically. I don't have charts up. I don't talk about setups, just about different approach to trading psychology that should ideally help us all become the strongest, most steady traders that we are. That's the whole purpose of this psychology lab. So the market is not closed yet. We have 1 hour left. Coach Matt and I will be here with you guys through Power Hour to talk charts and setups and what the market is doing, what it has done so far today, and what maybe we see an opportunity to close out the session. So I'm going to shut down this presentation, take a quick sip of water, and then Matt and I will be back in just a couple minutes. So don't leave this spot. We'll be right back to talk trading and see what opportunities we can find for Power Hour. And seriously, guys, thank you for being here. And if anyone has any recommendations, you can put them in the chats now or at Power Hour or in our free Discord. There's chat threads in there that you can join. And then you can just put any requests you have in there. Just tag me, Coach Becky. All right. I'll see you guys in a minute.